Hey guys, how you doing? Hope you're all doing good. Yes, it's been a little while, but I just want to say I survived. I didn't die. So this is my video today on the 5-day fast that I did. Um, so fasting is something that I do on a pretty much on a regular basis. Everybody or a lot of people would have heard about intermittent fasting. I've worked my way up, so from doing the 16-hour non-eating window to an 8-hour eating window, I find it really easy now, and I've been doing this for a good amount of years. This year I started to take it a little bit further and started to do some fasting, which would be about 24 hours to 42 hours, and I think the biggest fast up until this point was about 2.5 days, 3 days maybe, no, 2.5 days, which is still pretty big and really easy. And I think in between I was taking stuff like amino acids and stuff like that, and having some black coffee and so on and so forth. But this time I went hard, I went real hard, and I just want to break this down. So the reason why I wanted to do the fast is because I had a bit of brain fog. The mind was slightly clouded. I felt quite heavy. I don't eat bad at all anyway, but just generally speaking, I think the food that we consume, and we consume food for sometimes for no reason whatsoever, because we get a little bit not hungry, but our taste buds kick in. So I felt quite heavy in the stomach, and I just thought, you know what? There's so many positives to fasting. I just wanted to take it a little bit further. And obviously when you talk about this to people, they're like, oh my god, you're gonna starve, this is absolutely ridiculous, you're gonna die. You ain't gonna die. Well, I didn't die anyway. And on that note, I will say that this is my disclaimer, I'm not a physician. So obviously if you guys are thinking about fasting, then just know yourself at the very least, and if you've got conditions and medical conditions and stuff, then go and seek a GP's help. I do question general practitioners because they come from I guess from a different point of view, but again, that's just my own opinion. Not all, by the way, not all. So the fast was to clear out this brain fog. And we know that when we eat, we're regenerating all our cells. We're making all our cells grow. So this would have been a really good opportunity for me to sort of stop all this cell growth, and ultimately kill or destroy the bad cells within my body. Now, whether 5 days is long enough is quite questionable, but hey, you know what? It was never going to do any harm. It's going to always do me some good. So with that in mind, I didn't want to consume any calories. So when I say I fasted and I went hard on it, and literally everything that I was consuming was just water, nothing else, just water. Didn't even bother with the lemon juice, and I just felt that my body would work out and be okay in the way that I was about to approach this. Obviously, I like going training and doing all that kind of stuff, but and obviously people that train, proteins the first thing that's going to come to mind, and obviously your carbs or your fats because you're thinking about your energy. But I didn't take any amino acids because I didn't want to raise my IGF-1 levels, which would sort of counteract half the reason why I was fasting, and that was to flush out all the negative cells in my body, or at least try and work towards that direction. And obviously I'm testing myself as well. I'm testing what my body's capable of doing, what my mind's capable of doing, and so I went for it. So on these 5 days, I consumed no food whatsoever. Hey, the ice cream van's here. It's a good thing I'm not fasting right now, but I'm not going to be having any ice cream. Damn, he's loud. So I wanted to sort of flush everything out and just regenerate everything in my body, and clear out, more importantly, I wanted to clear out this brain fog that was just wreaking havoc on me. I was lagging on energy, and I don't want to really become dependent, and as a lot of us are dependent on coffee and other sorts of stimulants that will just keep us ticking over for the day. So I want to tell you about how amazing this fast was. Firstly, um, the first 24 hours is always a bit of a struggle, um, but my mind was already mentally ready for this, and I went with it. During my fast, I didn't laze around. I cracked on with everything that I needed to crack on with, and part of that was I went to the gym, I did my workouts, um, I did push myself, but not ridiculous, not to the point where I was gonna completely faint over or keel over and get into a bit of a frenzy. Um, I did weight training, I did my cardio, and I kept my window short, so everything will be done within 45 minutes. I was making sure that I was always paying attention to my hydration levels, because obviously when you're fasting and it may well be the first time that you're doing this on a general basis, even if it's a 24 or 12-hour fast, you might find it like you get a little bit lightheaded. So I was definitely keeping tabs on all those things that were taking place in my body to just make sure that I wasn't gonna keel over. Now my energy levels throughout the whole fast were low, then they'll come high, and then they'll go low again, so it was dipping in and out. But again, I was keeping tabs on this, and it wasn't something that I was gonna give up. So my initial idea was to just do a 3-day fast, and I thought that would have been the trick, but I guess I work by window, so every time I went over the mark or the time of when I would have eaten, because I would have completed the first day, second day, third day, I was like, right, you know what, oh, damn, an hour's gone by, 2 hours has gone by, I'm just going to eat tomorrow. So that's what this turned into. And on day 5, I felt absolutely euphoric. It's really, really difficult, and it's not difficult to explain. I flipping felt well good. I felt energized. I felt alive. I was so astounded that this actually happened, from not eating anything for 5 days. On the 5th day, I was at least expecting some lag in energy, or perhaps, but that wasn't the case. In fact, I wish I continued it further. I couldn't, because I needed my gut ready for the week that was coming ahead. So I wanted to make sure that I was going to be prepared for, eating quite heavy. Not bad, but just eating heavy. So I didn't want to get myself into any complications where I'd get like a bad stomach. So I ended it on the 5th day. I think the near future is going to see me continue my fasting for, let's say, 7 days or 10 days. I want to do a 7 or 10 day fast. I think hopefully next month. See how I go. Depends how I'm feeling. But if anybody's thinking about fasting, there's so many pros to the cons. The con is that you're not going to be eating, and you're going to be going, I guess you're going to be getting out of your comfort zone, which is fine. You know what, it's good to be out of your comfort zone, but if anything, it allows you to connect your body and your mind together, and that's the whole goal of this, just trying to become whole. And I find as I'm getting a little bit older, I realize that our health is so vitally important. And yeah, do you know what, we can faff about when we're in our teens and our 20s, you faff about when you're in your 30s, but then I look at a lot of unhealthy people, it could be my age, and looking at them as they're becoming a little bit older and so on and so forth, and they've got so many complications. I guess if complications are going to happen, they're going to happen. But for me, my mindset is I don't want to die longer. I want to live longer, and to do that, I just need to put certain things into place and just listen to my body. I don't want to feel like a crock of crap all the time because I got excited about eating a bag of chips or something along those lines, which I do, but not on a frequent basis. Definitely not, because I value my health, and I don't want to be feeling rubbish after my meal, or some form of regret, like, oh my god, I ate too much and I feel whack. So I take all these things into consideration, and although I'm testing myself at the same time, everything that I'm doing, I'm trying to find some value in it. So if you're thinking about fasting, you've never done any fasting before, you need to ease into it. I've got a couple of rules that that I'd probably say, hey, you know what, you might want to take note of this. You There's no point starting a fast if you've been binging for a whole day, and then if you turn around and say, you know what, I'm ready to go and do a 12-hour fast or a 24-hour fast, you're gonna feel like crap. If you're gonna do the fast, then get some nutritional content in. You eat healthy, eat clean. At least your body's taking something away, and it's it's easy to digest. You won't feel like a load of rubbish. Obviously, you get people like drink coffee and stuff like that, like 0 calorie or food, not foods but drinks. That's cool. If you want to go hardcore like me, that's even better. But the most important thing is when you come out of a fast, you don't want to binge. That's the worst thing that you could do for yourself, because if you start binging right after a fast, you're gonna shaft yourself, and especially if you've done like a 3-day or 5-day fast, your digestive tract just almost reset itself. So you don't want to be you start putting some rubbish into your food, it's gonna have a backlash, and you're gonna feel rubbish. Your body's probably, your digestive tract's not going to know what to do. And part of the point of fasting is to take care of your digestive tract. It's the one thing that takes probably the biggest toll in our body. And our bodies are so amazing, they assimilate everything that we chuck at it. But having to constantly break down food around the clock, it's not good for us, right? So they do say people that eat less or consume little live longer, and there's probably some great deal of truth in that. I'm sure there's studies out there. And yeah, so when you go back into eating, think about eating clean. For me, the way that I broke my 5-day fast is I got on my yams. Had my veg and my greens and yam or sweet potatoes. And you know what, on the fast, I don't talk about my energy. My energy in terms of strength or endurance was fine. Other than the dips that I had in a day, which I'm sure everybody gets regardless of whether they're fasting or not, my energy levels were pretty damn good. My strength and my endurance at the gym was good. In fact, I probably got a little bit stronger. It's mind-boggling. I got no idea, and it was working. Whatever was going on, it was working. So during the fast, with all these considerations, I did lose 8 pounds, which is a lot of weight. Initially it would have been the water, and then probably on the 3rd, 4th day, my fat started to kick in. Fat burning started to kick in, and I've not put that weight back on, and I've been eating a fair amount. So it's almost like it's reset my metabolism or put a base on my body. And I just want to point out that I did this fast a couple of weeks ago. So I've enjoyed myself. I'm back to eating properly again. But my body's not put the weight on which is pretty bloody good, right? So I can consume a lot more carbs than I was initially, and I'm not getting touched by it. So that's a good thing. And really, that's what I wanted. I guess what I wanted to throw out there. I mean, people have been messaging me saying, "Oh, Bubs, you know what? Why haven't you put a fast video up and what have you?" And they want to know a little bit more about fasting. I mean, I'm happy to answer any questions if you want to drop them on the message below or get in contact with me. But I just, people are sometimes they're so crazy. They're like, "Do you know what? I've not eaten in 3 hours. Oh, I'm starving. I'm dying. I need to eat." No, you know what? We're greedy creatures, and we're really, really fortunate that we get to eat whenever and however we choose. It's a great thing, but sometimes we just take it for granted. And like I said, it's all about living longer, not dying longer. And we got to, you get to a certain point in your life where you think, okay, do you know what? I need to make some of these changes because I want to take care of my health, right? And personally, I don't do any medications. I don't go to the doctors. The doctors, they might see me once every 3 years because I will book myself in for a blood test. Unless something ridiculously wreaks havoc on me whereby I need to go, I don't. I feel good, I feel healthy, um, and you know, and I'm hoping that this run can go on for a lot longer, because the way that I look at it is when I'm 60 or 70, life will take its course, but I want to be as agile and independent of any pharmaceutical drugs or what have you, as much as possible. So yeah, do you know what, I've done my days of binge drinking and eating loads of junk and doing all that stuff, but I'm glad that I can just I'm healthy, I'm good, and and I see this trend of people even going into veganism and stuff like that, because people are becoming a lot more active, a little bit more aware, and just trying to take care of themselves, and I think it's a beautiful thing. So fasting, if you give your digestive tract a little chance to rest, try the the intermittent fasting, which is 16 hours off, and that's part of that is just sleeping, and you got 8 hour window to eat, get everything that you want in during that period, or do 1 day a week or whatever it is. I know obviously there's so many cultures that do fasting for periods of time or whatever it may be, but I mean, if you even took the culture out of it, the scientific purpose for doing all these things is to give your body a rest, right? Allow it to regenerate, rejuvenate, and get some balance back in, because like I said, we've got all this food readily available, and we've got a lot of ready meals and so on and so forth to our fingertips, that sometimes we don't eat as healthy as we should do. So give yourself a little something back. I hope you found this video informative, interesting. I hope I've covered the things that you guys might want to have listened to, and if there's any other particular topics or areas of this that you want me to address, like I said before, drop your message down in the box below and I'll get back to you. Thank you very much for taking your time out to listen to me on my video. Peace out. Salute.